All right, we're back, guys, with another Bathmate video answering another common question regarding this thing, which is a Bathmate Hydro Pump. If you haven't watched my other videos on this, I encourage you to check those out. I encourage you to read my article on missionlifemotion.com as well. It's pretty in-depth as far as going into all the details regarding this thing and how you can benefit from it. But one benefit you get from this thing is called the all-day Bathmate Pump. So what is the all-day Bathmate Pump? Well, after you use this thing, okay, for the next, I would say 18 to 24 hours, okay, you're gonna be in a lengthened state. Your dick is gonna be in a lengthened state. It's going to be thicker than it usually is. It's going to be longer than it usually is. And it'll stay that way for 18 to 24 hours after you use this thing, okay? Now, you have to use it the right way to achieve this, okay? This is called the all-day Bathmate Pump, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. So, you're supposed to wear this device for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, 20 minutes being the max. I usually wear it for 10, 12, sometimes 15 minutes, usually in the shower, okay? If you do that after you remove the device, okay, especially if this is something that you're new to, that you haven't been using for very long, you have more untrained skin tissue to work with. So especially for you guys that are new, once you take this thing off, you're going to notice that you are longer and significantly thicker than you usually are, all right? And that's due to your skin tissue expansion, which is what this device does. It expands and extends your skin tissue, okay, by tugging and pulling on your penis. And one of the best things about the Bathmate is the ability to take advantage of this by having sex with a girl or your girlfriend right afterwards. So if you haven't experienced that and you want to, I highly recommend it. What a great way to take advantage of that after effect. So again, if you haven't experienced that I highly recommend it. It's one of the best things about this thing. Okay, she'll definitely notice. And so yeah, the all-day Bathmate Pump is desirable, also because you may not be able to have sex right after you use this thing. You might have to wait a few hours, right? So one thing I will say is this is something you want to ease your way into, meaning if you're brand new within your first 30 days, maybe your first 45 days of using this thing, for the first 3 weeks, you probably don't want to use an erection. You want to get used to this thing first. But once you're at the point, 3-4 weeks in, that you're using this with a full erection, then you can start worrying about your all-day pump. But until you're at that point, if you're within the first 2-3 weeks and you're not using this thing with a full erection, don't worry so much about this yet. Once you are at that point where you're entering this device with a full-on, full-bore 90 to 100% erection, then you can start trying to achieve this all-day pump effect that I'm talking about here. But you're not going to really get the full benefits of the all-day pump without entering this device at least a 90% erection. You want to be entering it with a full erection. So you want this thing on as tight as it possibly can be, okay? Because the tighter it is, the more pressure, the more suction, and the more tissue expansion you're going to experience. And that will be very obvious. It'll be obvious that it worked, if after 12-15 minutes you take this thing off, all you have to do is take one look down at your dick and you're gonna see that this thing's working. Okay, so girth is going to be noticeable to you and to her that day, especially right afterwards, but even throughout the rest of the day, because you'll have that all-day Bathmate pump. But it's going to be hard to achieve that if you're not entering this thing without a full-on, full-bore erection. So get yourself to the point where you feel comfortable entering this thing with an erection, and then you can start concerning yourself with having that all-day pump. So what you'll notice will happen over time after a few months of this, of using the Bathmate 3 to 4 times a week, every other day, or especially, you know, every day for periods of, you know, here and there. What you're going to notice after 3-4 months is that this is going to go from being just a one-day, all-day pump effect to more of a permanent thing. Okay, in other words, it's going to last longer and longer and longer, and this is where you start to see permanent gains come into play, because there's a compounding effect. You know, day after, you know, after days and days and weeks and months of consistently using this thing. Okay, you don't have to use it every single day for this to happen. 3-4 days a week, but try to maintain some level of consistency. That's true of anything. If you want to see progress, you've got to get yourself to a level of consistency. And if you do that with this, that all-day Bathmate pump will go from being just a one-day thing to an all-day, everyday thing, okay? And it won't happen right away. It's going to take several months, okay, of consistent usage. But that's the whole reason you bought this thing. That's the whole reason you know, guys get this thing, is you want to get bigger, you want to get thicker, you want to get longer, and you want a better sex life. And that's exactly what you'll have if you do this the right way, the way I'm telling you to do it here. So, like with me, I've been using this thing on and off for 4 years now, and you know, Magnum condoms break constantly, you know, so I have to get certain ones because, you know, a lot of the Magnum sizes will break. This thing has paid off. Like I said, 4 years of usage. It's been a little less consistent the last 12 months than it was the first 3 years, but yeah, I think you'll start to see that as well. You'll get to a point where you'll start breaking condoms, okay? And that may seem hard to believe now if you've never done male enhancement or you've never used this thing before, but I promise you will see results if you dedicate yourself to it and you're consistent, okay? And you use it as instructed. You don't misuse it, overuse it, or do anything like that. So hope you guys found this helpful. Leave any comments or questions you have in the description down below. Make sure you like the video, hit like. It helps me out a lot when you guys like these videos. This is Matt Mitchell from Mission Life Motion. I'll catch you guys in the next video.